start the bonding process, what do you do? Where are you going to find a companion? So Zooh Corner Rabbit Rescue, of course, can help you, and you're saving a needy rabbit. And also what's nice is that with Zooh Corner you can get support, advice, or you can even pay them to do the bonding for you, and then you give them, you know, a couple of bunnies and you come back with the pair. So the pet store, they may not be very healthy, so that's a concern. With the shelter, like Pasadena Humane Society, they do a great job of taking care of their rabbits. There's other shelters with rabbits too, and you might think, oh my God, I'm saving this poor rabbit, but just be careful, because either A, they may not be 100% healthy, but also you're not going to get the advice that you would from a rescue group. And so you could certainly still adopt from a shelter and then come to Zooh Corner for help and assistance. So again, you need to have them spayed or neutered already before you start the process, and unless they're very young, and you want to wait at least a month or two after they're spayed or neutered for those hormones to subside. One thing that actually happened was somebody had an intact female rabbit at home, and they had adopted a male rabbit from the Humane Society. It was neutered that day. They brought him home, put him with the female rabbit. He still had sperm in him, and he impregnated their female. So that's the other thing. So, I mean, obviously we say put them with spayed females, but the males can have sperm in their system for up to 6 weeks or more. So we say, you know, 2 months if you're putting them with an intact female. So do not just put two rabbits together and step back and just let them do what they want to do. Don't do that. They are almost guaranteed going to fight. They may chase each other and end up fighting in a small area where you can't get to them, and then it's even harder. They can tear their skin and have lacerations that require surgical repair. You know, lips torn off, ears torn, eyelids, things like that. It also causes extreme stress, and we don't want to cause our pets that much stress to be chased around and like as if it's a predator chasing them. And also it might be harder to bond them after a big fight. It can happen, but you do have to, you know, go back to the beginning and start fresh. And you know, again, it may not happen, but it may. I did have a pair that I bonded many years ago after a fight. So first date. Usually what we'll do with the rescue groups is they'll say to bring your bunny, and you meet the bunny that you like, or that the bunny that the personality may fit your bunny's personality. So we do a first date, and we introduce them and make sure they don't want to kill each other. And it's a stressful environment, so they're going to be quiet and calm and not going to be trying to protect their home and their territory and say like, oh, there's an intruder in my house. If they're out and about in this kind of environment and doing a first date, then they're not going to be as territorial. But you still want to make sure they don't immediately want to kill the other bunny. As long as they don't want to immediately kill each other, okay, you can give it a try and take the second bunny home and start the bonding process. So what you want to do when you get the bunny home, your home setup, you ideally will have your rabbits in pens, X-pens, next to each other. And the ideal thing is if the pens can be next to each other and they don't fight through the bars, that's great. If they do start fighting through the bars, you either want to put plexiglass in between, or what's better is to have the bars be a little bit apart, maybe put like a brick or, you know, yellow pages or box or something, so they can still see each other, smell each other, but they just can't quite reach each other to fight. And there are some people that will see rabbits sitting on either side of the pen, and they're spending a lot of time laying next to each other, and you think, oh, let me just lift up the pen. No, surprisingly, you would think, oh yeah, they're cuddling, they want to cuddle. Yeah, as soon as you lift up that pen, it's, you know, territory, game on. So don't do that. So let's see. So usually I say to let the new rabbit settle into the home for a few days or a week or two. Let them get used to the routine. You can let them alternate who gets to come out into the play area, and let them get exercise at different times. You also want to switch them so that you can have A and B, and A goes into B's pen while B goes into A's pen. And what they're doing is they're getting used to the other one's smell. And that's very important, and it just kind of becomes intermingled with their smell as well. Okay, so body language. There's some very common behaviors that it's important to know, because when you're doing the bonding, you're trying to read the bunny's body language so that you can stop them before they get into a fight. So presenting is when one rabbit shoves his head under the other one's face and basically saying, groom me. You know, and for those of you who don't know, this part of the head, right between the eyes and the ears, that's rabbits' favorite area to be petted. They really love to be petted and groomed in that area. And so they're putting their head forward, and it's usually they've got a relaxed eyes, you know, they're not tense, and they're kind of putting their head forward. Their ears are back but relaxed, and their body language is relaxed as they put their head down, and they're just like, can you pet me, please? So sometimes you get bunnies who like, pet me, no pet me, no pet me, no pet me. So so another one that you definitely want to watch out for is when they have their ears are back but they're tense, and they kind of do this kind of a thing where their nose goes forward as their ears go back, and a lot of times the tail goes up, and then they're just saying, I'm not sure I like you. And then well, when the tail goes up, that's, I may bite, I may attack you. So that's kind of the next step. So you can have a little like this, and some of you who have rabbits may have seen that, like if you're, you know, taking the food from your bunny, or you know, touching the belly, and they're just kind of like, hey, stop that. You know, they kind of face forward, ears back. So if they're breathing fast and sitting still, like, you know, they're stressed, kind of like, what's going on? I'm not comfortable here. Just kind of stressed. If they're sitting still and they're calm, their eyes are relaxed, they're just like, yeah, whatever, just tell me when it's done. You know, and that's certainly a good behavior to have. And if they're grooming themselves or the other bunny, very good sign. Sometimes they can aggressively groom, and then it can kind of turn into like nipping, or it can, you know, kind of be like light bites, and it's, yeah, okay, maybe be careful there, and, you know, can turn into real bites. So here's just kind of some pictures to try to see. So you can kind of see, this is ears forward. He's looking. This is a curious kind of position, because it's with the ears forward and going forward towards the other bunny, kind of like, hey, what are you doing? And then this bunny is kind of ignoring, like, hey, I'm eating grass, but he does have his ear cocked to the other bunny, so he knows the other bunny's there, but he's not worried, he's not concerned. And so, you know, you kind of want to check the tension. These two bunnies, their ears are kind of mid-level. They're not back, they're not real forward. That you would think, for people who know bunnies, you would say, oh, they know each other, just kind of saying hi, just checking in, that there's no aggression or fear or anything like that. So if you look here, there's a dog, obviously, but this bunny, he's got the ears forward, he's got kind of a tense stance, and he's kind of going forward like, are you okay? What are you doing? So it's kind of a curious, but could say, I might run, I'm not sure. But it's not really an aggressive posture. It's a concerned and scared. Now this one, it's a little hard to tell, but if you look closely, so the bunny on the bottom is like, whatever. So because probably this bunny on top is like a little bit aggressively grooming the neck area, and he's kind of like, hey baby, kind of like gonna like jump on her. And so even if they don't have hormones, they can still hump the other bunny. And so she's kind of this, yeah, do whatever type of attitude, and he's like, I might think about getting on top of you. Now they can certainly do that when they're spayed and neutered and they don't have hormones, and it's more of a dominance type of a thing. And so certainly if you have one bunny who's trying to get on the other, and the other bunny gets mad and fights, then that's not good. If you have one that's accepting and the other one that does it, that can be okay, but it also can lead to fights. And so it depends on the bunny's behavior and personality. So the next one is a video that is a bunny on a homemade wheelchair and going up to the pen of another bunny who is kind of famous for being a fence fighter. And so he'll be on the left, and when you look at his body language, he's like, hi, come here. And then as soon as she comes over, he's like, arr, and you can see his ears forward, lunging at her, and his tail goes up. So and I warned her, he might bite your nose.